Thank you for choosing to watch this video in which I'll be tying a black Francolin spider. As usual, start by mounting your hook in the vise. For this one I'm using one of Fulling Wool's Comp heavyweight hooks in a size 14. The tying thread I'll be using for this fly is a Pearsall's Gossamer silk in black. Before I start tying it, I want to put a coating of wax over the thread which will help preserve it and stop it rotting once it gets wet. Whilst I sort out this Francolin the silk, I can explain where I got the inspiration for this fly. Whilst at the Irish Fly Fair recently, I stopped by the Cookshill fly tying stand and saw the black Francolin skin, which had some really nice looking feathers. For this one I'm using one of the Covert feathers off the wing. These look like they make a really nice hackle on a spider or a head hackle on a wet fly. I thought I'd try my hand at this minimalist spider first. Anyway, let's carry on. So, once you've got your thread sorted and waxed, catch it on with a few turns and trim away the waist end. We'll then form the body in touching turns. Whilst this style of fly seems very simple on the face of it, you have to be very careful with your thread wraps so you avoid any unseemly lumps and bumps, and there isn't anywhere to hide in the dressing of this fly. I'll tie this one short, stopping at the hook point, and then wind back up, again in touching turns to ensure we get a nice smooth body, and stop where we want to tie in the hackle, leaving enough space to wind the hackle and form a neat head. You'll notice I've trimmed the tip off the covert feather and I've stripped one side to keep this tying nice and sparse. Catch in your hackle tip with a couple of turns of thread, and then wind your hackle. As I say, you want to keep this as sparse as possible, but 1 or 2 turns should be enough, depending on how many barbs there are on the feather. For this one, 2 turns should be plenty. Then catch in with a turn or 2 of thread, and then holding it under tension, break away and check how the barbs are sitting. There's one that's sitting the wrong side of the thread, so I'll tweak that out, and then I'll put on my whip finish. The usual 3-turn whip finish should be plenty strong enough and not build up too big a head. You'll notice you have to be very careful with and minimalist in the turns of thread tying this fly. The Pearsall silk is quite thick and you don't want to build up too much bulk. You can see some of the wax build up as I close the whip finish. Trim away the waist thread and then use your fingernail to pull the wax away. This fly is not very robust, so there's no need to worry too much about adding a varnish to the head. This will be plenty strong enough as it is. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please drop it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. All comments and feedback are always welcome.